All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to jump right in and demystify a framework that's really changed the game for how teams build things, Scrum. So, what is it really? And why does it actually work?
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You spend months, maybe even a year, crafting this perfect, super detailed plan. The project kicks off, and boom, reality hits. A customer changes their mind, some new technology pops up, or you uncover a problem you never, ever saw coming. And just like that, your perfect plan is pretty much useless. This exact situation is what Scrum was built to handle.
So, the traditional way of doing things, what we call the waterfall model, it assumes you can map everything out perfectly from the start. But Scrum has a totally different philosophy. It just accepts the fact that we can't know everything at the beginning. It works on this core idea that real knowledge doesn't come from a document. It comes from actually doing the work, from experience, and from seeing what happens.
And this brings us to a whole new way of thinking. One where we actually expect our plans to change the second they hit the real world.
Okay, so if Scrum isn't some massive, rigid plan, then what exactly is it? Let's break down what the framework actually is. Now, the official definition here is really, really deliberate. You got to pay attention to the keywords: lightweight, adaptive, and value. Scrum isn't supposed to be this heavy, complicated rule book. It's a minimal set of guidelines designed to help teams work through messy, complex problems and consistently deliver the stuff that actually matters. And here we have the classic Scrum paradox. The rules themselves, which we're going to get into, are actually pretty simple. But living them, building the discipline and the culture to make it all click, well, that's the hard part. That takes real practice. So how does it really work? The whole thing is built on a core theory that you can sum up with 3 simple actions. You see, you check, and you change.
The fancy word for this is empiricism. But don't let the word scare you. It's a really powerful idea. Just stop guessing about the future. Instead, make your decisions based on what you can actually see and observe. You build a little something, you see how it works, and you learn from that.
So, empiricism gets put into practice through this continuous loop, these 3 pillars. First, transparency. Everybody has to be able to see what's going on. No secrets, no hidden work. Second, inspection. You have to stop often and check your progress against your goals. Are we on the right track? And third, adaptation. Based on what you learn from that inspection, you adjust your plan. And here's where the rubber meets the road. Transparency isn't just some vague concept. In Scrum, it's a visible product backlog everyone can see. Inspection isn't random. It happens in specific events like the daily Scrum or the sprint review. And adaptation is built right into the system as the team changes its plan based on what it just learned. You see, it all works together.
But you know, a framework is just a bunch of rules. It doesn't work without the right mindset. And that's where the 5 core values come in. You could say this is the real heartbeat of Scrum.
This quote just nails it. Without these values, you're just going through the motions. The pillars we just talked about, transparency, inspection, adaptation, they'll just crumble if you don't have a foundation of trust. And these values, this is how a team builds that trust.
And these values all feed into each other. I mean, it takes real courage to be open about problems. It takes respect for your teammates to truly commit to what you're all trying to achieve. And it takes incredible focus to actually deliver on that commitment. When a team really lives these values, that's when real collaboration can happen.
Okay, so we've got the theory and we've got the values. But who actually does all the work? Well, Scrum defines a small, tight-knit team with 3 very distinct accountabilities. 3. That's it. And this is so crucial. There are no hierarchies, no managers, no sub-teams. It's just 3 roles, working together as a single unit, all focused on one product goal. First up, the product owner. Think of this person as the voice of the customer. Their one and only job is to maximize the value of the product. They understand what the stakeholders need, and they own the what, as in what should we build next. They do this by managing a prioritized to-do list for the product. Next, we have the Scrum Master. Now, this is not a project manager. They're not the boss. The The Scrum Master is a true servant leader. Their job is to help the team get better at using Scrum. They own the how, as in how the team works together. They're a coach, they clear roadblocks, and they make sure the whole process is healthy.
And finally, we have the developers. And this doesn't just mean programmers. This is a cross-functional group of people who have all the skills needed, design, testing, you name it, to turn an idea into a real working product. They manage themselves and they own the how, as in how the actual work gets done.
See, this balance is the whole point. The product owner says, this is what's valuable. The developers figure out, okay, this is how we can build it. And the Scrum Master is there helping both of them become more and more effective. It creates this powerful, healthy tension that keeps the entire team aimed at one single thing, delivering real value.
So let's recap the big takeaways here. At its heart, Scrum runs on empiricism, that cycle of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. That whole process is fueled by the 5 values, which create the foundation of trust. And it's all put into motion by the 3 roles: the product owner defining the what, the developers doing the work, and the Scrum Master perfecting the process. So the framework gives you the rules of the game. It gives you the structure for empiricism, and it defines the players. But that leaves us with one last, much deeper question. How does a group of people actually build the courage, the openness, and the respect they need to go beyond just an empty process and become a truly amazing team? That's the real challenge, and that's the art of mastering Scrum.